Well, we had quite a tough winter this year, that's for sure. Our van we couldn't park in our usual spot in the driveway, so it was parked in the parking lot with a big building thing beside it. We got totally covered in snow. And when in the winter, if we're not driving the van, I always go out like once a week or twice a week and start it up and move it back 4 or 5 feet. But this time there was a huge covering of snow on it. I could barely get at it. I went out and started it up and proceeded to shovel snow, and then I smelt a horrible burning smell. Like, I'll run the heater inside with the defroster on. Sometimes I'll even start up the diesel heater inside to get it all warmed up and dried out. But this time I smelt this incredible burning smell, so I shut the van off and finished shoveling the snow. Then I went back in and tried to start it, and there was nothing, not a gig. Wouldn't turn, wouldn't crank, nothing at all. I didn't know what to think it could be, so I started looking, and I crawled underneath and I took a look at the starter, and I saw the braid was burned off on the starter motor. I knew that for sure, and I thought there was a problem with the fusible link going down to the starter as well. So I changed out the starter, and while I was at it, I also changed out the heater motor, because for some reason the heater motor quit working too. And this is one that I'd replaced, but quite a number of years ago. So I changed out the starter and the heater motor. Still nothing, not a gig, nothing at all. Turned the key, no dice at all. Would not crank over, no crank, no start. So I started looking at everything. I checked all the fuses under the hood. There's a 60 amp fuse and a 30 amp fuse that's shown in the wiring diagram. We'll show you the wiring diagram there. That all looked fine. Then I got underneath and I looked at the neutral safety position switch. I thought that might be a problem. I tore out all underneath the dash, underneath the steering wheel. I checked the key switch. I checked the little plastic gear strip that activates the ignition switch. I checked the ignition switch. Everything seemed fine, and the wiring diagram looked great. I also changed the starter solenoid. There's a starter solenoid under the hood, and I thought that might be a problem. But if I hooked a positive wire to that, to the trigger wire on the starter solenoid, the starter would crank over and the van would start up. So what could it be? I kept searching and searching and searching online. Finally I found another diagram that showed in the fuse box underneath the dash, inside the van, right under the steering wheel, there's another fuse box, and in there's a 10 amp fuse, this one here. That fuse was blowing. So I was all excited. I popped that new fuse in and I turned it over, nothing, wouldn't hit, nothing at all. And then I remembered, wait a minute, I had this little jumper wire that I was using to start the van onto the starter solenoid. I took that off and put the original wire back on, and it started right up. Now if I had only had that diagram showing this 10 amp fuse, if I had had that before, or if I had just pulled out all the fuses and checked them, because my years of Volvo, the first thing you do if your Volvo's not working, you pull out all the fuses and clean them all up. Those were a sort of a ceramic cartridge kind of fuse, and they were always a lot of trouble. These fuses are not so bad, but still, if I had known about this little 10 amp fuse under the steering wheel, I would have saved days, absolutely days of work tearing everything apart. But I guess now I'll just count my blessings, because the van starts really good. The only thing is I've screwed up the little switch that makes the door binger go off when you have the key left in there. That it's binging all the time, so whether you have the key in there or not. So I might try and fix that, or I might just use the wire cutter solution on that problem and not worry about it. It's always good with these vans to have a key hidden away somewhere where you know where it is and nobody else knows where it is, because if you're a long way from home, I remember I was in Haines, Alaska, and we were photographing the bears there, and one fella lost his keys out there, and he didn't have a key to get back in his truck, so he couldn't get out of there. And I haven't had that problem for a long time. Once I was near the Wildcat Cafe, I believe that was in Yellowknife. I locked my keys outside of the car, and the local police chief came along, and he had a kit. He had a Slim Jim and some things to get the door open, and he was working away on that. And when he turned his back on me, I just popped open the lock, and he looked at me pretty strange. I don't know what he was thinking, but I got out of there. It was a great time, and we had a lot of fun there. Well, now this is the starter solenoid that I'd mentioned. This is bolted on. In the books, they tell you it's on the fender well, but on these vans, it's bolted to the back of this panel here, just like that, right in behind the headlight in front of the battery. I pulled the battery out to get at this easier, and I unbolted it. And this is the trigger wire right here, and the positive wires go on here. So what happens is when you turn the ignition key, it sends a pulse here. 12 volts comes to this terminal, which causes this to energize, and then you get the power connected across here. Now I changed this solenoid. It was $20, and I don't think it was even a problem. I can test this out, and then if it tests properly, I'll keep it for a spare. All you have to do is hook a negative terminal here to this part here of the ground, and then connect the 12 volt power to this terminal here, and see if it's like a relay. See if the relay activates, then you'll know. And then I can have this for a spare. But the odds of this thing going back, there's almost 400,000 miles on the van, and I imagine this is the original one, which is probably still good. So I don't know how much I'm going to need a spare one, but what the heck, eh? Yeah, if I'd done enough research, or the first thing to always check all the fuses. I should have just pulled all the fuses and tested them all, and I would have saved days of work. So, but anyway, I'm hoping this video might help somebody else. So I've been to a lot of places. I've had a lot of fun, and hopefully now we got the van is all working. We got the new starter in. I mean, you can smell this starter. It really smells bad. And there was a little plastic clip, a little plastic insulator sort of thing over these two terminals, and that was totally burned up and melted. I'll show you that too, so you can see what happened. But if you're having the same problem, no crank, no start, check your starter. And then the main thing, the whole point of this video, is to make sure this fuse is okay, because even changing the switch, the neutral safety switch, costs about $70. I had one and I sent it back, but it's a $70 switch, and it's not all that easy to change either. It's underneath, you got to work on it. But so what all I've changed so far is I changed the starter, changed the fusible link wire going to the starter solenoid under the hood, which I don't think we needed, and finally the little 10 amp fuse that was the key to the whole problem. So now that we've got that new fuse put in, the thing starts up perfectly with the key right under the hood. Now I'm going to go to work and see if I can't solve that problem with the key dinger. You know the warning switch when you open the driver's door with the key in the ignition. It warns you, ding, 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 ding. It doesn't have a warning for the headlights. You could walk away and leave your headlights on or something like that. In fact, with the Toyota, you can't lock the door with the key in the ignition switch. That's really handy. But the best way around that with these old trucks is to have a magnetic key box hidden somewhere where you know where it is. Nobody's going to go looking for it anyway. And then if you do lock yourself out somewhere, imagine if you're out cross-country skiing somewhere and you came back and found out you'd lost your keys. You could freeze to death. So it's important to have a spare key hidden away. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you'll come back to Bella's Vistas again real soon. And I hope this, if you're working on this truck, that could save you a lot of trouble.